These are the people who say the undocumented, who they get to call illegal immigrants, like the Pilgrims had permission to come here, have to suffer the consequences of their actions, right? They made the choice to overstay their visas or come into our country illegally. So if they get deported, consequences. But you right-wingers shouldn't have to suffer the consequences of your votes? You don't want to be around me because I voted for fascism. No fair. I'm coughing on you with COVID, but you want me to wear a mask for your safety? No fair. My body, my choice. Well, here's an alternative thought. Make your own dinner, MAGA. Make your own sandwiches. Wipe your own tears. Troll amongst yourselves with Elon and leave us alone. You got your heart's desire, the president you dreamed of, and worship instead of Jesus. And this time, you didn't even have to storm the Capitol, smash the windows, or try to kill police officers or issue death threats to poll workers. See? You did it just by voting this time. Congrats. You got your way. And he even got away with breaking the law. Yay. But if you expect the 73 million who voted for the prosecutor, not the felon, and particularly the 92% of black women who voted for Kamala to give you a cookie for your vote, a trophy, a hug, a high five, you might be asking too much. If we want to eat with you, we will. But if we just want some peace over the holidays and we don't want to put up with your trolling while we eat our tofurkey, get over it. Stop acting like we owe you. And for God's sakes, stop whining. It's embarrassing. Our Thanksgiving, our choice.
All right, guys. So happy Thanksgiving, folks. And I got to tell you, I am thankful for each and every last one of you, sincerely, especially over the last year or so. It has been quite a journey, okay? This has probably been one of the most fascinating years of my life, and you guys have been a part of that journey. And it's something I reflect on every day, but I guess since it's Thanksgiving, I just want to tell you guys how thankful I am for you and this journey that we have been on together, and I'm glad that we got the results that we wanted, right? Trump is back in office, and I am thankful for that. I am thankful for the prospect of making this country great again, at possibly bridging the gaps and potentially unifying the country. However, unity seems to be elusive, okay? It does not seem to be something that at least some people in this country want. And it's not Trump supporters. I think Trump supporters generally want to be able to, at the very least, eat Thanksgiving with their family members, even if they disagree with them politically. But that's not what the left wants, okay? The radical left wants individuals to punish Trump supporters for voting for Trump, right? Because Kamala Harris lost, which is what Joy Reid essentially is advocating for her viewers to do in her psychotic Thanksgiving meltdown, in which she clearly it's not taking the fact that Kamala Harris lost well. She's not taking the fact that Trump supporters won very well, okay? She's calling for consequences in response to Trump supporters winning, right? It really shows you the desperation. And it's funny because she's not really talking to anybody except herself, because quite literally nobody is watching her show, right? Nobody is watching her show at all, as her ratings, along with MSNBC's ratings as a whole, tank into the dirt, okay? And I think one of the reasons why Joy Reid doesn't want to eat Thanksgiving with Trump supporters, which, by the way, I don't think she actually knows any Trump supporters, right? So this is not her problem. I'm not sure why she's so upset about this, because, again, I don't think she knows any Trump supporters that she would be eating Thanksgiving with in the first place. But one of the reasons why, because she knows that if she was to have that conversation at the dinner table with a Trump supporter about this election, it would probably kind of go like this.
Give us the Jennings response at that table.
Oh, please. Donald Trump's gotten more votes every time he's run for 3 straight elections. He won the national popular vote for the first time for a Republican since 2004. And his party won the House and the Senate. The American people have given him a mandate to govern. They want the Republican Party to take action. And you, sir, bringing this up to me at the table would be wise to tell your party, don't be obstructionists, because I don't think the American people are going to like it.
Ooh, he is not getting the last crescent roll.
Yeah, well, I can see why you're down on Kamala Harris. I mean, she was one of the worst Democratic nominees of our lifetime. And presidential campaigns have a way of revealing the talent levels of the people who are in them. And I think we found the ceiling she bumped up against. If you hadn't remembered it from 2020 or 2019, she didn't make it to 2020. Now you really have seen it on display, and maybe she'll try it again in 4 years from now. We'll never know if another Democrat could win, but I'll tell you this, Joe Biden and his administration and what Kamala Harris helped him do have tainted the Democratic Party. It delivered Republican majorities in Washington, D.C., and now their party is in the wilderness trying to figure out what went wrong. And the American people are expecting Republicans to lead us out of this morass, this malaise, if you will, that we've been in for the last 4 years.
Something tells me that Scott's not making it to dessert at Van's house. I see his head shaking. Someone's getting thrown out. I don't know whose house it is right now, but I'm going to go on to the next one right now because, whew, Scott. Okay, this one is for you, and it's probably sure to come up. Trump's only about loyalty himself and is stacking his entire cabinet with yes men and yes women. Scott?
I mean, honestly, are you complaining that a president of the United States is appointing people to his government that, oh my gosh, supported his election campaign, that support his agenda? That's unheard of. We've never heard of this before. That's crazy talk. Every president appoints people to the cabinet that supported them, that supports the things they want to do. I mean, my goodness gracious, Joe Biden ended up appointing Pete Buttigieg as Secretary of Transportation because he said, well, you know, I like trains. Choo-choos are fun. This is a great cabinet. This is great picks. These people are going to shake up Washington, D.C., and so what if they're loyal to Donald Trump? That's what the American people voted for, a government that's going to follow Donald Trump's agenda that he ran on. That's what they voted for. That's how he won. The people should execute his agenda.
Yeah, I think that's what Joy Reid is actually really afraid of. This is why she's telling far-left lunatics like herself to not spend time with family members on Thanksgiving who support Trump, okay? Because she's afraid of getting schooled on the fact that Trump won and that the American people want Trump's agenda, right? An agenda that clearly she does not agree with. And I think that's really what the real issue here is, okay? And also on top of that, it must be noted that the same people who claim that Trump or Trump supporters are in a cult, these are the same people that think that politics is more important than family, right? That they should abandon their family over political disagreements, okay? I think anti-Trumpism is probably the biggest cult, the strongest cult in this country, and Trump supporters aren't the people that are whining. It's actually the people on the left, right? Trump supporters aren't boohoo, whining, and crying. It's the people on the left. So I don't know what the hell Joy Reid is talking about, but the point of this video, the real point I want to drive home here on Thanksgiving is that unity is possible. Even though you have dividers like Joy Reid trying to divide the country and to make people hate each other based on politics, there's some stories out there that really show that it is possible to put political disagreements aside and to love each other and to be friends despite our differences, because who you vote for is not a reflection of who you are as a person, okay? And I think this story right here from Anna Kasparian really drives home that point. And a lot of leftists and some people on the right too are upset with Anna for telling this story, but I think it really does highlight her political transformation and how she went from a very hateful person like Joy Reid to actually really understanding Trump supporters and being friends with Trump supporters, because she knows that, again, friendships and relationships are deeper than politics. And ultimately, that's what the elites want. The elites want us to hate each other based on politics. So I want to react to this story because I think that this is a great story to share.
The third thing that you cited was the story of a guy called Jeff in your apartment block who you became friends with before you realized he was a Trump supporter. And that changed your view of what a Trump supporter actually could be like. Tell me about that.
Well, I think that in Trump's first term, a lot of people placed themselves in silos. So I was very much in a left-wing silo where I kind of refused to have any kind of relationship with someone who had voted for Trump. And so as a result, I was allowing kind of like the Democratic Party and mass media to paint a picture of all Trump supporters without really investigating it. I just kind of accepted what their summation was. Jeff, who I love, and I kind of feel bad because now like a lot of people are talking about him and he didn't ask for me to mention him. But anyway, I met him at a time when I needed help. Like, I was moving into this building. My husband wasn't available. He was going to fire academy training. And so at that time, I'm like lugging my husband's heavy bicycle up the stairs. And Jeff comes across and just says, can I help you with that? He grabs the bike and he basically helped me move in. And this guy doesn't know me. This guy really had no reason to help me, but he dropped everything he was doing and decided to dedicate the rest of the day to helping me out, getting to know me. And throughout, the subsequent weeks and months, we got to know each other better. Really, really sweet guy. And then one day we're at an HOA meeting. I remember we're sitting together on the couch as the meeting's going on. And a woman in our building stood up and she said something negative about Trump. And I was shocked because Jeff whispers in my ear, oh, if she's going to be trashing Trump, then I'm out of here. And that made me realize, oh, he's a Trump supporter. And so I investigated that a little more. I was curious about his politics. He was a lifelong Democrat. He loved JFK, voted for JFK. And he just said, I feel like we should support our president, even if it's someone that you did not support, you did not vote for. He's our president now. And so he explained where he was politically, but it actually didn't matter to me because I got to know who Jeff was as a person prior to understanding or knowing about his politics. And so that didn't just wake me up to how Trump supporters are not a monolith. It woke me up to the fact that all of us are complex human beings. And we should not have one side of us or one element of who we are define the entirety of our character.
Right.
I agree with that 100%. Again, especially as far-left lunatics like Joy Reid and Sonny Holston are essentially telling people, on national television, by the way, hey, don't spend time with your family if they supported Trump, right? You should punish people because of who they voted for, okay? And that type of hate and division being pushed in this country on national television is why we can't unify. It's not because there are just fundamental disagreements between Trump supporters or Democrats or, whatever, right, the left and the right, that we can't toss aside to, have relationships with each other as people, right? No, that's not it. It's that you have one side of the political aisle that is so brainwashed, right? It's so brainwashed that they really feel like their politics is more important than family. They have zero tolerance for Trump supporters at all, for any type of different opinion or viewpoint. And that is something that is basically exclusive to the left, right? It is exclusive to the left at this point. And again, that's why I think this story from Anna Kasparian, who at least once was on the left, I think it's so important to share.
Or the entirety of who we are as people. So that's what I was trying to say.
You've come under a bit of flack, both for your pivot, as it's seen, from left to right. The attacks have been led by Laura Loomer, who I'm on record as saying is a complete lunatic. But she said, here we have another political opportunist in the form of you, Anna Kasparian, and as a malicious and pathological liar who has spent years with her co-host, Cenk Uygur, lying about and trying to cancel every outspoken Trump supporter, including myself. She spread delusional lies about Trump, but now in a low-cut top and a full face of makeup, she wants to tell some make-believe story about a guy called Jeff, who all of a sudden made her realize that 80 million people are all unique individuals and not Nazis. Come on. Nobody is buying this garbage. Anna's trying to remain relevant to the changing media landscape after she's made serious cash bashing people like me who actually busted my ass to help Trump get elected. She's a full-blown liar. We need to reject people like this, blah, 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 blah. What's your response to Ms. Loomer?
Well, my response is actually going to clarify something you said a little earlier, which is my pivot from the left to right. I would not describe what I'm currently espousing as right-wing. I have been, basically, on economic policies, I'm very much left-wing. I have rejected the Democratic Party because they sell a bill of goods that I'm not interested in anymore. Same with the Republican Party, generally speaking. So I consider myself unaligned, and I have moderated my views on a handful of some social issues. So that's where I am right now. I really am unaligned. Neither political party represents my best interests. With that in mind, I think Laura Loomer is worried that I'm going to vie for some sort of role in Trump's White House or in the Trump ecosystem. And I just want to let her know I'm not vying for any of that. I'm very happy where I am at work. I don't want to push you out of whatever position you have in the Trump universe. Like, the fact that she brought up my physical appearance, I thought was interesting. I'm sensing a little bit of jealousy, if I may say. It seems like it. It seems like it. And I'm not really looking to roll around in the mud with someone like Laura Loomer. So
No,
I just
God,
want
I
to
can't think
let
of
her
anything
know
worse.
everything's going to be okay, Laura.
Yeah, I think of all the
know.
million things you could suggest that I might at least want to do, number one would be rolling in the mud with Laura Loomer.
Yeah, so I guess, listen, here's the thing. I reject that type of tribalism in politics. Okay, we're all Americans at the end of the day. That was the whole point, is that, hey, you know, whether you're on the left or the right, you should not be abandoning your family. You should not disown your family. You should not be losing friends and relationships over politics. Okay, that is what the elites want. They want us fighting each other. They want us hating each other, while they essentially accumulate more power behind the scenes, right? That is essentially what the game is. And also, top of that, I want to say in regards to the Laura Loomer thing, you know, I also reject that as well too. I think that ultimately, if you see somebody willing to listen and to change their opinions, then you probably should embrace that individual, in the sense that they are changing their opinions and that they are willing to listen, especially if a leftist is doing so, because again, that's a pretty rare trait in a leftist, right? Most leftists don't listen. They're not open-minded. But if somebody is open-minded, the best way to continue to get them to change their minds and to agree with you is to continue to foster open conversation, rather than to shun them and to say, no, I hate you because of your past beliefs. That's definitely the wrong way to go about it. The right way to go about it is to say, hey, I understand that you're changing, and let's continue to have a further conversation about the things that we disagree with, without necessarily pushing them away. And that's ultimately how you convert people, right? I think that's part of the reason why they say that MAGA has become the big tent party now, is because MAGA doesn't actively push away people, right? MAGA has become very inclusive of everybody. And it's kind of crazy to see, right, how the parties have essentially flipped, right, over the past 4 years. So we're really living in history. But again, don't let politics get in the way of personal relationships. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.